So, can we please talk about UFC Vegas 63 took place at the weekend, headlined by the veteran Boston grizzled boxer taking on the up-and-coming wiry Brit, Arnold Allen. It was a good one. It was a good event. So yeah, I'm going to start off, not with that fight though. We'll start with in the order that I picked the fights for. So, De Lima, Rogerio, is it Douglas De Lima? Marcos Rogerio De Lima, sorry. Too many names for one guy. Either way, big, bald, scary. Now, I had the knockout for this when he was taking on Andrei Arlovski. As you know, if you follow MMA, basically Andrei Arlovski, he's a former champion. He was champion like nearly 20 years ago now. Ridiculous. Like, he's been there a long time. Absolute favourite of UFC fans alike. And De Lima is the up-and-coming new kind of prospect in the heavyweight division. Record's patchy, but when he delivers, he really does deliver. And boy, did he. He delivered really well. I had him down for a knockout. And he got the submission. He is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, but he rarely uses it. He's usually just a knockout artist. But I would say that the reason the fight went to the ground was because of a nice wild hook that smacked Arlovski right in the face. And after that, it's kind of academic, isn't it? But yeah, so what does that mean for the heavyweight division in the UFC is what I would initially ask. But, because, I mean, you're not going to get him... It's not going to fire him to the top of the rankings. Let's not go nuts. A win over Arlovski is impressive, but Arlovski's been a gatekeeper for some time. So for me, I'd be looking at possibly a rematch. If he's going to get a ranked opponent next, I think De Lima needs a rematch with Blagoy Ivanovov because he dropped a decision to him a few months ago. I think it was only 2 fights ago. I think he'd probably like to get that one back. It'd be a good one for his rankings. If he can get that one back, he's kind of surging in the rankings. And Chris Daukaus, yeah, is another one who's looking for a win. And it'd be a good stylistic one, actually, Chris Daukaus, because he swings like a wild man as well. I put him in against De Lima, who also swings like a wild man. That's a decent matchup. I'd quite enjoy that one. No, that wouldn't be bad at all. So then I had... I didn't actually pick this fight or break it down, but I just wanted to give a mention to Dolidze, who fought Hawes, and tell you what, it was funny because he went from being an absolute gentleman to committing murder. This is the murder right here, and yeah, because Dawes basically twisted his knee, so it almost looked like he wasn't going to be able to continue for a second. He twisted his knee, and Dolidze backed off. It was just like, you know, are you okay? And he went from being an absolute gent to committing absolute murder. Knockout of the night, that one as well, I believe. Yeah, I think it was knockout of the night. Who should Dolidze take next? I think maybe Tavares. To welcome him into the middleweight rankings, I think that Tavares would be a pretty good test, to be fair. Because when you're looking at it there, it's who else you've got above there? Chris Curtis, maybe. Duplessis is already matched up with Darren Till. That'll be an interesting fight. Looking forward to that one. So yeah, not a huge shake-up for the middleweight division, but I think that if you put him in there with Brad Tavares, I think that'd be an interesting matchup because he has looked good. He has looked very, very good. So yeah, then you also had Khalil Roundtree. I did pick Khalil Roundtree to win a knockout. Now, it was a close fight. A lot of people were saying it was a split decision. A split decision, you're never going to have a non-controversial split decision because it was close enough to split the judges. It's going to split the fan base as well, isn't it? So let's not be surprised by all that. But let's give credit to Roundtree. He came back really strong in the third round. I thought personally he might have dropped the first two, but he looked really good in the third round. Fair play to Jacoby. He was eating up the lead leg quite nicely. I thought it would go the other way around, honestly. And yeah, who do we think they should take on next? What does that mean? Because these were light heavyweights. So what does that mean for the light heavyweight division? Roundtree, he's kind of been up and down. I think he got a win over Paul Craig at one point, who is currently ranked 9th. Maybe he could get that rematch, but Paul Craig's a tough old customer, honestly. It doesn't have any kind of title implications, but I mean, a decent matchup, maybe Jimmy Crute. Stick him in there with Jimmy Crute, perhaps. Get Crutey back in there. Oezdemir, he needs to find another win. Ryan Spann maybe. There's quite a lot of good guys in that division. The one that I would circle would be Jimmy Crute at rank 14 to get him further up into the rankings. And then the main event, you had Calvin Kattar versus Arnold Allen. And to be honest, it was a shame that it ended the way it did, but it was Allen's movement that caused the injury. Basically Allen was just, he was outworking him. He was moving better. He was striking better. He was getting the better of all of the exchanges. So for me, I feel like that is it's a legit enough win for you to kind of want to progress through the division. It's not like Kattar blew out his knee like on the first exchange. They had a few exchanges that, let's be fair, Arnold Allen got the better of. So there's people out there calling Arnold Allen a bum. I mean, they're trolls and shit like that, but which I do understand. But it's just silly. Now, what does it mean for the featherweight division? Because honestly, you're going to see next, obviously, the champion at featherweight moving up to fight Islam Makhachev. That is going to happen. That's going to happen in Perth, I believe, in Australia. That's a good fight, but I'll get distracted if I go too far into that. So when you're looking at this division, you've got the top four is Max Holloway, Yair Rodriguez, Brian Taker and Josh Emmett. Now, the only one of those three that Volkanovski has not fought recently and battered is Josh Emmett. So Arnold Allen has obviously just beaten Calvin Kattar, so he should leapfrog up towards Emmett. Really, the fight to make there, interim featherweight title fight, has to be Arnold Allen versus Josh Emmett. The winner of that gets Volkanovski after he has gone up a weight class, because obviously Volkanovski's belt will not be on the line when he fights Islam Makhachev. But Josh Emmett versus Arnold Allen, stylistically, that's an interesting fight. I like Josh Emmett. He throws with power because he throws from so low down. You see his stance, he's very, very low, and he throws over the top with some vicious power. And he knows that he can do that because his wrestling is top notch. So yeah, I'd be looking forward to that one. And that's basically UFC Vegas 63 in a nutshell. So I would just like to say thank you to those that are watching. If you're returning, if you're new, thank you. Please, could you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification if you want to. I drop a lot of content. I'm quite a prolific content creator, so just to let you know when things are dropping, hit the bell notification. If you could do me a favour, share it as well. Leave a comment. Let me know who you liked in UFC Vegas 63 or in general, just about mixed martial arts. So I'm going to do the news in 60 seconds. Right, let's just set this timer here and go. So, Jake Paul beats Anderson Silva in a boxing match. Honestly, I didn't see that one coming. Apparently, the pay-per-view buys were abysmal as well. But, yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? I mean, he's close to 50, but I'll give Jake Paul that one. He's done all right. Arnold Allen's new featherweight contender in the UFC, probably fighting Josh Emmett for the interim title. Ross Chastain breaks NASCAR. He did this move here where he slingshotted around the wall to get just ahead of Hamlin to get him into the top 4 playoffs in the NASCAR. Absolutely sensational stuff. Tommy Fury still angling for a fight with Jake Paul. I would like to see that one, actually. I don't know if I'd fancy his chances lately. Tyron Woodley has changed his nickname from The Chosen One to The Realist, which is just, I mean, that's funny as fuck. And also, to go into my American football, I watch a lot of NFL as well. The New York Jets still cannot beat the New England Patriots, and that is the news in 60 seconds. Right. So for me, I'll go a little bit more into it, is that the right thing to do, as I said, is Arnold Allen going to be fighting Josh Emmett for the interim featherweight title. There really is no other fight to make. I think stylistically it's quite a fun one. I don't know who I think initially I would probably lean towards Arnold Allen. I think he's slightly more complete and he hits from range slightly better, but the power that Josh Emmett possesses is going to be a real difference maker, I believe that. So, yeah, and then also, should Jake Paul fight an actual boxer next? My opinion, yes. Tommy Fury, no, I'm kidding. Absolutely not. If he wants to keep going the way that he's going, he should absolutely not fight a real boxer next, because that will be curtains. It will ruin the whole shtick that he's going for. You want the next fight for Jake Paul? Chuck Liddell's looking pretty punch drunk these days. Put Jake Paul in against Chuck Liddell, and we'll see another MMA hero crumble to the YouTube sensation. And troll of the week, so you've got Jake. This is quite a funny one. It's all based on Jake Paul. Basically, the average age of his competitors, let's say. So she's got a picture of the old man up here, and it's like when you're chilling at the old folks' home and you realise that Jake Paul's looking for an opponent. That must be pretty scary for all those retired, 50-year-old MMA fights. Hey, look, if you want to make some money, then there are harder ways to make that money, but probably less humiliating ones. Either way, that's all I've got time for. I'm going to be doing a breakdown for UFC Vegas 64, which is headlined by Marianne Rodriguez and Amanda Lemos, and there's a couple of other fights on there that I'm interested in. So until then, keep those eyes long and those bets terrible.